What's going on, people? Welcome to the live match reaction. Palace 2, Everton 3. A nasty defeat. Disappointing defeat. There's so many other words that I can use, but I'm going to try to keep it as calm as possible. It's going to be very hard today. At home at Selhurst Park in the Premier League. Positives. Elisa was back. Eze was back. But as always, want to hear from you. So make sure to leave down your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also, the lines in just a second, where you can click on the link. It will be pinned and join us to have your say on the game. As always, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. But before we do get started, another positive is that we hit 4,000 subscribers. So thank you to every single one of you. Genuinely, really appreciate it. Unfortunately, we have to come and talk about this game after 4,000 subscribers. And you know what? Some of you may be happy with the performance, but I think it's disgraceful defensively. Disgraceful. I'm not gonna applaud the attack because we scored. I mean, how on earth do you go score 2 goals at home against Everton and still end up losing the game? And we want to be serious as a football club, and we want to push on. This football club makes me see colours that I haven't seen before, from just pure madness. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. We are joint top. Well, we were. I don't know anymore. We were joint top for clean sheets this season, and we go and concede 3, not 1, not 2, 3 goals at home to Everton. Gay and Anderson are playing, by the way. Mitchell's playing. Lerma was there. Maybe Decore is missing. But 3 goals. I don't care how much better we were in attack. If you go concede 3 goals, it removed the whole element out of it. It's pathetic. It's genuinely pathetic. Going into this game, it was the case of, if we want to be serious, we need to try and win this game. Win this game. We were looking at these 5 games. Let's win. Let's get some wins. Let's get some points and go up the table. But hey, Crystal Palace FC, that's what we are. We love to make it way more complicated than it should be. Not only did we forget about the win, worst case scenario, maybe a draw. That would have been awful. But a loss at home to Everton? Oh, geez. Just leaving, just honestly, it's terrible. Honestly, it's so awful watching us play today defensively. Awful. What's the reason? What is the reason? Like, what was the reason today? What's the excuses? Take some responsibility. You do well in other games. You lose 4-1 against Newcastle. Cool. You've got an excuse. It's Newcastle. Still not right. It's Newcastle. What is the excuse today? If we want to push on as a football club and achieve way more points than we've done in previous seasons, then these players need to take responsibility for their actions as well. Because I'm not looking at this game, oh, it's only 1 game, it's fine. No, because it all adds up at the end of the season. It all adds up. And you cannot lose at home to Everton. You cannot. Look, when we lose a 2-1, I was still thinking to myself, you know what? I've got a good feeling that we could still get a goal back and maybe win this game. And we did get a goal back. But on top of that, we go 3-4 minutes left of the game, and you still fall asleep defensively. One of the best teams defensively so far this season, falling asleep at home against Everton. Why? I don't care how much better we played today in attack. This was coming, and I said this last week as well. People got annoyed at me. I said this last week. If Burnley had better attackers, the same thing would have happened. That's why I was not happy with the 2-0 win. Because we let them have chances, we let them have shots on target, and we were not good defensively against Burnley. The difference today is Everton actually looked like a Premier League side and got Premier League quality players. So they finished their chances. But we've been giving up too many opportunities in the past 2 games. And today, it caught up to us. And that's why when people coming on here saying it's fine, it's this and that. No, the 2-0 defeat, the 2-0 win against Burnley wasn't fine because for the majority of that game, Palace were piss poor. And today we were piss poor. But the only difference is today it cost us. It cost us and it will continue costing us if we don't fix up in defense. I don't understand it. How am I on here talking about defense? That's been one of our strongest points. We were talking about Eze coming back, Elise coming back, and then you add Edward coming back from injury and all these players, and then the attack will start coming into play, and then everything will be fine then. But that's not even the case. That's not even the case. Now all of a sudden, these players are coming back. The defense decides to go sleep. They decided not to play. Like, what is this? What is this? I have standards. I hold this team to standards. Because I know how good these players can be. And I'm sorry, today the players nowhere near the levels they should be defensively. And I don't care about the 2 goals. Don't talk to me about the 2 goals, because them 2 goals, it doesn't mean niche. It means jack all if you're that bad defensively. Anyways, we'll go through the comments, but I can't fathom the result, people. I just can't fathom the result. I can't. Not at home. Maybe away. Even away. Look, not at home. First goal, cross. Second goal, set piece. Third goal, sleeping. These are avoidable goals. Avoidable. All it takes is some responsibility from our defenders. 1 mistake, fine. 2, are you taking a piss? 3, come on now. 3 goals. Everton have improved. Yes, they have, and I said that in the preview as well. They're not as bad. They have improved, but come on now, man. I just cannot. I cannot accept this result. I just can't. Let's go through some of the comments. James saying, letting Mikalenko, the left back, have a free header is shocking. Yes, it is shocking. And I'll be honest, even in the first half, crossing into the box was a problem. And as the game went on, well, they didn't have that many opportunities in the second half, but the opportunities that they did have, they finished it. And that's what that matters. But then again, we're giving them opportunities that we shouldn't be giving. We shouldn't be giving them these opportunities. It's poor defending. And I just can't. Honestly, today I can't accept that. Richard saying doesn't like the starting lineup yet again today. I don't really have a problem with starting lineup. We can go there now. The starting lineup, I mean, Eze was starting. Schlupp, that'll be the discussion point whenever like Elise is on the bench or Francis on the bench. But I mean, Elise clearly wasn't fit enough to start. He came on. We'll talk about him as well. Francis is not ready yet to start, so I didn't really have a problem with the starting 11. What I have a problem with is these players not taking responsibility. That's what I have a problem with. Because I don't want to sit here and talking about another mediocre season. And I'm not saying because of this is defeat, it's going to be a mediocre season, but our chances, it adds up. It always adds up at the end of the season. At the end of the season, when you're talking about, we're only 4 or 5 points off, I don't know, 10th or 9th or 8th or 7th, whatever, it will add up. I will come back to this game and say, we lost 3-2 to Everton at home, and that's why we're in this position. It all adds up. Chris saying Everton are designed to counter-attack and Palace played into their hands. But we played into the hands, but we should know this. We should know this as a team. That's what they do. It's awful. It's awful to watch. But that's what they do. Counter-attacking football. But I'm sorry, but there's no excuses today from me. There's no excuses. And I'm lost for words, people. I'm genuinely, this defeat was the most frustrating game I've seen so far. We lost 4-1 to Newcastle, and you can argue that performance was way worse. But today, against Everton, this has pissed me off more than that Newcastle game. 100%. More than the Tottenham game, we weren't pressing them. 100%. Because it's Everton at home. It's Everton at home. That's what annoys me the most. You score 2 goals, but you still end up losing to Everton at home. McDuff says, same old crap, late goals and early ones. Why anyone would be mug enough to buy 1 over 2 of our centre-back for 60 million plus? Get real. At least saying as they gone by January, forget contract extensions. Michael saying, Roy Ball is so bad to watch. You need to win in these games at home against teams like Everton. 100% agree, Michael. By the way, if you want to call in, if you agree or disagree with me, the link should have been posted. Hopefully it is the right link. I'll double check it. But if you want to join us live and call into the show, feel free as well. I'll read out some of your comments throughout the show. If you don't want to, understandably, a lot of people are frustrated. And honestly, right now, if based on that game, I would love to do like 99 other things rather than talk about this pile of shit that I just saw. Simple as that, honestly. Wayne saying this was reminiscent of Vieira Ball rather than Roy Ball, really. I don't know if that was the case. To be fair, Vieira Ball was struggling to score goals towards the end of times for Vieira. So today it was just, I guess we lost. We lost. I don't think it's Vieira Ball or Roy Ball because even Vieira weren't that bad defensively. Problem was we couldn't score goals, we couldn't get these wins. But I'm not going to talk about Patrick Vieira here because that's deflecting from the real point today. And a real shambles at the players just couldn't take the responsibility and stand up to the plate and deliver when they needed to. But look, let's bring on the first guest of the evening. Alex, how you doing? 3-2 defeat against Everton. What do you make of it?
You're probably, you know what? I'm gonna say it. Like the result is demoralizing, but I think if you were given another day to think about it, you wouldn't feel this strongly about it. But maybe not. I
I
thought that
would.
the three
I would.
goals were extremely poor.
Yeah, I would. That's why I would.
Well, the three goals, like every single one of them, were completely preventable. I thought. Well, maybe not the second one, just because that's Karamov. The third one, especially, like our center back loses it, and then our midfielder loses track of him. He's in no man's land, and Ty almost recovers and bails everyone out, but he wasn't in position for it, in my opinion. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but I think in terms of a few takeaways, because it's okay to be this pissed off, because this is absolutely how it should feel, but I thought that this was the Lerma that we were getting, was somebody who's like a maniac in midfield, who's just like going all over the place. And yes, he was, I would say, the biggest reason why we gave up the second goal was because he sagged in the line, but in every other way, he was our best player on the pitch. And I hadn't seen it for games. I thought he was poor and stuff like that. And I thought, some people in the comments saying that Hughes should have come off sooner. I kind of agree with it, because I thought that he really he pressed really hard, and towards the end of the game, he just didn't have it, I felt like. But maybe it's just 2020 hindsight. I kind of get the feeling that we want to make this a short one, though. I can read tea leaves.
No, you said your point. So you're happy with the performance today?
I'm not happy with the performance. I think it was a much better performance than Burnley, and probably a better performance than most of our games if you take away those three.
On what basis?
Well, no, I mean, what else did Everton do other than those three things? What else did they?
You're not made the argument that the only difference today from Burnley and Everton was the fact that Everton actually, finished their chances, and
I agree.
it was Burnley just couldn't finish the chances or pour in and around the box.
Yeah, but they dominated the game more. But maybe it's because of the score of the game. I don't know. I don't know, man. I thought that we've been so hard to watch in possession that today was a breath of fresh air for about the middle 60 minutes of the game. The first goal and the third goal, I wasn't even that mad after the second goal, because that just seemed like it was dumb luck. But the first goal and the third goal just pissed me the hell off.
Yeah, and that's my point. I mean, we scored 2 goals, but I'm not going to sit here and say I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'm not happy, because scoring 2 goals means absolutely nothing if you go concede 3 at home against Everton for defense that's meant to be so far until the clean sheets.
I think you're harping too much on Everton this, Everton that. They were playing better than
Everton. So Everton. So what should we achieve this season, Alex? What do you want to achieve? Staying up.
I get what you're saying.
No. What should we achieve this season?
I think that we will be lucky to get 10th, something like that, from what it looks like.
So is our purpose please to stay up?
It's just, well, I mean, I'm just not willing to burn everything down just because it's not going well for another season in a row, and it just keeps happening. I don't know. I get where you're coming from, that you just want something drastic, though.
No, I just want responsibilities. There's no point hiding. I don't like
Basic,
this
yeah.
narrative that, oh, no, it is Everton. And no, it is Everton at home. I will say that. I'm not saying they're a bad side, but it is Everton at home. If you want to be a top 10 side or push into the top 10, the reality is you need to be beating teams like Everton at home. And
Or you need
if
to be
you want
playing
to
like
stay up,
Brentford
fair
and
enough. You can lose
going
against
for
Everton.
the
You go get a result against Burnley and all these other teams, maybe point here and there. But I
yeah.
mean, 10
You
years in the
should play
Premier
the
League.
way we do. That's for sure. Because
10 years in the
there
Premier
are
League.
some teams that go for the big wins, and we don't tend to do that. So we have to like try to get them where they come. And today just didn't work. It
So
wasn't
looking
good.
ahead to the next game against Luton, are you confident that we could go get a result based on what you saw today?
Well, I don't like the way that we've performed most of the season. So I don't know if I'll ever feel confident until I start seeing a difference in game to game play, because I'm not seeing any consistency is my main issue. Like, I'm
And whose
talking
fault do
about
you think
Lenny
that is?
today because he was great, but like, just let me finish. Like, he was great today, but like, how often do we have somebody playing great for games in a row? Or how often? It's just not happening this year. And
But
so
wow,
that's
why?
why I'll never feel confident until something big happens. Yeah.
So, so
What
do
were
you
you
think the
saying?
players should take more responsibility? Because some of these players that we're talking about
Oh,
here
I
are
am
they're meant to be worth £60 million.
people who are blaming Roy for this one. That's a tough one because I don't see what he could have done to stop the third goal. Like Idrissa Gana almost like if he's making that run, you should see it ahead of time. And I just don't know what the hell Hughes was thinking, passing it off when he's basically the only one in position to do anything about it. It seemed like, but I don't know, man. It's not good talking about this right after it happens.
Yeah, it is a very frustrating defeat. But tomorrow, next week, trust me, in 4 weeks,
You should let
5 weeks,
other
end of the
people take
season,
these games. You know,
my
although
emotions for this game will remain the same. This is not just being mad. I don't care how good we were in attack, defensively
that's not
for
what
some
I'm
of the stuff that you listed. It's not just a case of blaming Roy. I think these players need to take responsibility. And
yeah.
today, it doesn't matter what will happen. Losing at home against Everton in the manner that we did, conceding 3 goals after scoring 2 goals, is piss poor. I don't care how good the attack was. It doesn't mean anything if you're that vulnerable in
I don't
defense.
think the attack was great. I thought it
Yeah,
was, serviceable. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Look, Alex, always a pleasure talking to you. Hope you catch up
Thanks,
after
man.
the Luton game and hopefully it's a bit more positive then.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough having to take these D, so I appreciate it, and I hope that you understand that. Like my whole comment about like it would feel differently. I just mean like the visceral reaction. You could be just as pissed off, but like it kind of like works me up when we have to talk about these like 30 minutes in. And so
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah,
But I just know myself and I just know what I expect from this team. So I
that's
hear
fair.
where you're coming from. But for me, unfortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you view it, uh, today I can't accept it. I can't accept the performance. I can't accept the result. I just think it's piss poor from Palace. It's piss poor
I'll give you
with the
credit
plays that we had
for
out there, especially defensively.
you, the courage of your convictions, man. You have
All
you have a good
right,
one.
then,
You
Alex.
know, take it easy, man.
Take care, Alex. Yeah. See you later. If you want to call into the show, make sure to click on the pinned comment and also smash the like button as well if you're enjoying the show. Of course, you can agree, disagree. Feel free for whatever opinion that you have to come on here to have your say. Let's bring on the next guest of the evening, Dan. Dan, 3-2 defeat to Everton at home. Where do you think it went wrong today?
Everywhere, mate. Everywhere from the team selection. Fu- it pissed me. It pissed me the fuck off. If I'm being brutally honest, you know what I mean. I come on last week, all happy and positive, and expecting well, not a walk in the park, but we knew it was going to be a tough game. But fuck me, man. We just went from. It was like watching a bunch of amateurs. Do you know what I mean? There was no identity there. All right, in spots, you know, we looked very very good, but it's just lack of consistency. You know what I mean? Like we should be burying teams like Everton at home. You know what I mean? No disrespect to them. All right, fair enough. They come and got the result, but seriously, man, we got to take a big, long, or hard look at ourselves and give ourselves a shake in the mirror. You know, that goes from number 1 to number 11. You know, all the players that are playing there. You know, it was just piss poor from a lot of players today, and it's frustrating, frustrating.
You talked about 1 to 11, and yeah, I think the players need to take responsibility. But I mean, if you had to pick a side, do you think it's both to blame Roy and the players, or do you think the players, they should have done a bit better today?
At the end of the day, yeah, Roy picks a team and expects the best from his team. And when they're not doing their job properly or consistently, then you know what I mean. In the end, you just got to take a long, hard look at it and think who is to blame. You know, the players are blaming him. He's blaming the players. You know, no one. This is what I mean. No one wants to stand up and be counted for and to say, look, you know, oh, I'll hold my hands up to that one. You know, it's just frustrating. It just frustrates me. You know, there was a couple of good performers out there, but at the end of the day, it was just sloppy. You know what I mean? It's just too sloppy. The goals that we conceded are just sloppy errors. And it's unlike Palace. You know, we're not we're good at defending. You know, I mean, we got a good mentality, but today just took the piss. You know what I mean? Leaving your men free. You know, it's just horrible.
Yeah. And I mean, the defeat, of course, in terms of I haven't even looked at the table, but it doesn't help our cause. And just looking ahead to the Luton game, I don't honestly. My expectations just lowering after this game. I don't have much. I mean, if that's what we're going to see defensively, I don't have much expectation. But Dan, I mean, if you look at attack, we still score 2 goals. Do you think against Luton, if you play, I don't know, like that, we definitely won't, because that's you came on it. You was very positive against Burnley, and I was more on the side of we won 2-0, but yeah, if we play like that again defensively and we let that many chances, then we'll be hurt. And then today we did get hurt. I think that's for me, anyways. Even though we kept the clean sheet against Burnley, and it sounds wild for me, that's 2 games defensively we weren't at the level that we should be. The only difference is Burnley just didn't have the players. But do you think we could go get a result against Luton?
I hope so. I would like to think that. I'd like to think we would, but Luton are going to be a tough team to beat at their place. You know what I mean? It's a hard place to go and get a result. You know, look at Liverpool, for instance. You know, they didn't take their chances, and you know what I mean. We're just lacking. We're lacking creativity at the minute. You know, we've got Eze, all right, fair enough. Elise should be back for that game. I hope he starts. And hopefully we can chuck in a good performance against Luton. But you know, I don't know. The positive energy seems to be draining from me, and you know, it's hard. You know what I mean? But you know, we take it on the chin as Palace fans. You know what I mean? We're used to it. We are used to it. You know, and you know, hopefully I can come on here in a couple of weeks' time and spread the positivity again. You know what I mean? But you know, Christmas is a time for giving, and hopefully Luton give us 3 points.
Well, Palace, Christmas time of giving, and Palace are, giving away goals for free. Let's just say that. I think we're handing out Christmas presents early, nice and early. But look, Dan, appreciate you coming on. Hopefully we catch up with you after the Luton game and it's a bit more positive then.
Yeah. Take care, D. Yeah. All right. See you soon, buddy. All right, mate.
Okay. If you're enjoying the show, people, make sure to smash the like button. Also subscribe, as now our objective is 5,000 subscribers. Of course, everyone has their own opinion, so feel free to call into the show to have your say on the game as well. Let's bring on Tim next. Tim, 3-2 defeat to Everton.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
Disappointing. Deeply disappointing. Before I get to that, though, congratulations, D. I mean, you and the team getting to 4,000 subscribers. Well earned, pal. Really well earned. That's great. Good. Yeah. I just want to give you something, because I mean, it wasn't a great game today. Disappointed. And I like what you said. Even though I'm not pissed the way you are, you said something important that I want to hit on, and I also want to read something that Roy said. You said I have standards for this team. When you put that context around it, that makes sense. I get why you're pissed, man. I'm more disappointed than I am pissed, but you know what? I get that. I get that. So I get what you're feeling. Like, we have standards for this club, and they didn't meet it today. The defense was shocking. But I want to read you something that Roy said, and I want to read this because I'm not having the Roy hate on this game. So here's what he said. He said, "I don't think you should be looking for positives when you lose 3-2 at home to a team where really for large periods we had the measure of and we were dealing with." Now, you could argue about whether or not we were dealing with them. I mean, that's arguable. But yeah, Roy's not happy either. None of us are happy. Like, I don't
We
think our
shouldn't be
eyes.
happy. That's my whole
We
point.
shouldn't be
Like,
happy. Like, our eyes don't
we
deceive
talk about the
us.
2 goals, Tim.
Yeah.
But the two goals means nothing to me. If we end up conceding 3 at home to Everton, and I'll keep saying that as well. And then, I know there's
I get
Everton
that.
fans saying, "Oh, you know, you're entitled, whatever." No, with all due respect, that's how I view Everton right now. As good as they are, we shouldn't be conceding 3 goals. Maybe 1, worst day 2, but 3 goals, that's just unacceptable. We shouldn't be conceding 3 goals against Everton. I think they've been fantastic defensively as of recently, but I don't think there's been that many times of them being that good in attack for us to concede 3 goals. They've got decent attackers, but we've been solid defensively. And I look at these defenders and I think they should be held, accountable, because I just think it's just unacceptable to be that poor against Everton. I mean, we've seen how they played against the likes of Arsenal. They were very good defensively. The only problem was conceding a penalty. Then Spurs in the first half, they didn't have a shot on target. So we know what this defense can do. And I'm sorry, based on what I've seen so far this season, based on what I've seen even last season from some of these players, today's game for me is unacceptable. That's how I view it.
I get that. For me, it's not about Everton's quality or not quality. I think shipping 3 goals at home is unacceptable. You name the team. There was some pretty shocking defending. I'm not going to slate Everton on this one. They have won 6 of 9. They came into this match in much better form than we did. And they end up, I think this is the difference. To me, D, this is the difference between a team that came in and delivered a professional and disciplined performance, the one that won, and one that was energetic and naive, and that's the one that lost. Like, the naive defending really did cost us here. So the reason I'm not pissed, D, mostly because I've seen this before, so it feels very typical Palace to me. So there's that. But also because I can see what we can be, and it's really frustrating, but I see what we can be. And whether or not we're 10th, I don't know. Or Europe, I have no idea. I wouldn't bet on either of those right now, but I see what we can be. So, we got to be better. You're right. The defenders have to take a huge amount of responsibility in this game. Everybody has to take responsibility. What's that?
Did we miss Lucore today? Or do you think that?
Yeah. I think so. The fact that he didn't train all week, I think it was probably right that he didn't start, but Hughes didn't have a great game. Ayew didn't have a great game. There were a number of players that didn't have a great game. The whole back line had some pretty bad moments, but I think Hughes was. I love Hughes, but he did not have a good game. Jordan Ayew did not have a good game. And even Ebbs, who I thought was brilliant at times, he's another one who I think I love him. I love him to bits, but he does have moments of naivete. I do think that second challenge, in the box, I wouldn't have. It would have been soft if it had gotten called as a penalty, but he's too quick to go down in the box. He's too quick. I don't like that he's doing that. So he's a little naive too here. I think overall, I'm not gonna absolutely kill us. I love what you said about standards. I do think we need to raise our standards, and the team needs to take responsibility. this felt very naive to me, D. Felt very naive coming into this, and that really cost us big time.
I'm looking ahead to the next game against Luton then. I mean, what do you think needs to change? For me, Tim, I can't remember what you thought last week against Burnley, but I said it. I mean, if they had a better attack, we would have conceded a goal. I just don't think we're very good defensively then. Decore played in that game as well. He got subbed off, but he did play in that game. And today, I mean, the scoreline shows it. Once again, I don't understand it against sides that it should be easier than facing Newcastle Spurs. We're struggling even further defensively. For me, the logic just doesn't make sense. But for you, what needs to change against Luton?
What needs to change? I don't know. What I said last week is you want to take it when you don't play your best, where you play poorly, and you still manage to grind out a result. You know, those are ones that you take, and I'm glad for those. This one was you let go an opportunity, games there for the taking, and you don't take it, and that makes it a million times more frustrating. So against Luton, I mean, way more solidity, and in that, I guess, a lot more discipline, because Luton is a disciplined team, and we should be able to get them. We should be able to unlock them. But man, I mean, I the discipline here in this game was lacking. Discipline in defending, but also in attack. I mean, Dem made this point. How many times was Eddie, offside? How many times was Ayew caught offside? We got, and you could see that Everton was playing that. They were bringing the line up. They knew as soon as Joa gets on the ball, like, okay, here comes the cross-field pass, and they come forward, and they must have caught us 4, maybe 5 times, and we get caught out on that offside ball, which, to their credit, that's good tactics from Deitch. Good defensive tactics.
We should be able to adapt to that, especially after.
And we should be able to adapt. Million percent. We should be able to adapt to that. So what do we need? I think we need probably a lot more discipline, but we should be able to unlock that team. We should be able to. The quality is there. This was a bad game. It was not the professional performance that it needed to be. But I am not going Roy out, or like this is the end of the season. Like, nah, this is a bad game. I think you're right. Just not up to the standard. And we take the break, we get the international break, and then we kick on from there. I mean, we'll see. I'm going to hold out hope that what I saw today with Elise is something we'll build on, and then we'll get Decore and Lerma back working together, with that extra break, and maybe we'll be a little bit more solid at Luton. But disappointment today, man. No other way to color it. It's a disappointment.
Yeah, it does. Look, I think I'll so head loss. I forgot about the international break. The international break, I guess, will come good in that aspect as well. If a bit more rest now that Ez's had a few minutes. Elise came on today, which was positive as well. He's had a few minutes, but then they've got this extra rest. So for the Luton game, really, we've got time to work on things, time to rest. Of course, players will go with the international countries and represent them. So not everyone will be at Palace, but we do need to come out of international break. And I'm not just looking at Luton, the 5 games. Even though I look at game at a time, I mean, even if we get a positive result against Luton, we still got West Ham. We got who else?
Then it gets tough. Yeah, then it gets
West
tough.
Ham, we've got Bournemouth and Luton. And the next 3 games, really, after the international break, we need to make sure we put a stamp to it. Because if we don't pick up, I don't know, at least 2 wins out of the next 3, then I'll lean towards the side of forget. Because if we lose against Everton and we drop points against Bournemouth, who's been terrible so far this season, or Luton, then it's like, what's the point? It's just too yo-yo.
Every game, though, is going to be tough. I mean, you're not watching it right now, but I can see it on the side of my. I'm looking at it on the side here. Bournemouth is going right after Newcastle at home. They're going right at them, and it's 0-0. And it does not look like Newcastle is not on top of this game. So every game is tough. Like
Every game is tough, but that's the thing, though, Tim. There's no game that's easy. And today, it's not
Yes.
going to be easy. That's not. I never.
Yeah.
You know,
Agreed.
as you said, they've been on form. But this is the thing: if you got these players that are worth so much money, that have all this quality, and you want to finish in the top 10, then you still have still no wavelength that we need to be beating Everton at home if we want to go and achieve them stuff. Like, all right, cool, this could be seen as a minor setback, but then again, it depends on what we do in the next 3 games. If we end up dropping more points, then it's just pointless. Like, what's the point? I mean,
you got to get results.
You're not going to get given games. Even Sheffield United, we only beat them 1-0, but you know they've had a few games even against that Tottenham, where Tottenham just only beat them last minute. Like, there is no easy games, but it's about responsibility. It's about knowing what's in front of you and managing to get the job done. So it's going to be the same. I mean, Luton next won't be easy, but we need to go get the job done. Bournemouth, West Ham, same thing. We need to go out there if we want to separate ourselves from these teams. Forget about a draw or defeat. Defeat today is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. A draw I wouldn't have been happy with, but at least we have something to build on. A defeat is just pick up nothing at home against Everton. For me, it's really bad because it's one of those games at home you need to be trying to get something out of it.
Sure.
And we next 3 games is going to be massive. It's going to be massive. But But look, it is what it is, Tim. I guess we got the international break, and hopefully over the international break we can focus and we can find out what's gone wrong. Because I'm including a Burnley game in it as well. Even though we kept the clean sheet, I just didn't like the amount of chances we gave to Burnley. I looked at other teams.
I get it.
And you know, other teams managed to silence Burnley out, and we still gave them so many opportunities. So for me, the last 2 games, despite Burnley beating them 2-0, hasn't been to the levels that Palace should be at. And hopefully this international break can sort it out. But look, thank you, Tim, for coming on. Hopefully catch up with you for the Luton game.
Hey, congratulations again, man. We'll talk more. Take care, man.
All right then. Thank you, Tim. Okay, let me go through some of the comments. Farhad saying Tim Point. I don't know if you're an Everton fan, but I mean, I'd rather still be Palace than Everton, with all due respect. Wayne saying they were clinical, professional, and did the most important things well. It stings when it flies in the face of logic and expectation, but that's what it comes down to ultimately. Yeah, it does. It does. Sorry, the conversation got me. And today, I mean, that's why I'm looking at the players more than Roy today, because you know we even the second goal, the Everton fell asleep, and Edward was at the right position, right time, so we still take it. But we were better in attack, but still, it was not. Everton were you know disciplined in defense. It's just the difference was we weren't disciplined enough in defense, and for Palace so far this season and what we've achieved. We should have been. We shouldn't have conceded 3 goals. This is not the Palace that I know that conceded 3 goals at home. Of course, I'm Everton. I'd rather be Palace. Well, okay, fair enough. I'm not gonna even entertain it. But you might even. Let's just hope you don't get a points deduction or you don't get your. You know, there's a lot of things with Everton that's wrong. But yeah, fair enough. Mike saying Roy football is back. Shit football. I don't say. Well, I'm not happy with the performance, but I just don't think today's on Roy, people. I just don't think it's just all on Roy. I think the players just need to take a bit more responsibility. We had 4 shots on target, so did Everton. So did they have the same amount of shots off target as well. You know, 6 block shots for Palace, 66% possession. We had more corners than them, but 4 offsides compared to their 0. They had more fouls, more yellow cards than us. I just think it's down to the players, people. There's certain times where the players need to step up to the plate, and you know these are professionals. That you know, Gay plays for England, Anderson Denmark. You know, Lerma represents his country internationally as well. You got you know these are internationals. These are not just like Premier football. They're internationals. They know what's expected of them, and the goals that we conceded today, it just wasn't good enough. It wasn't. Harsh, Eze only second game back. At least he got a few minutes, not doom and gloom yet. And no one said it's doom and gloom. But I said, you know, if you don't go and beat Luton, then probably just forget about the season. But yeah, that's how it is. But let's talk about the individuals. Sam Johnson today. I don't know if you could have done more for the goals. 2 of the goals in the second half was on other ends. I think it's more about the defense rather than Sam Johnson. Joel Ward. He wasn't that bad. But yeah, just let me answer this comment from Tim. I think Rice set us up to go win and wanted us to keep pushing the defense. Last down to taxes didn't. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's more on the players rather than the players. Joe Wood, he had a solid, relatively solid game, 4 clearances as well. Gay and Anderson probably could have done better defensively, as well as Mitchell as well. Will Hughes was disgusting, wasn't good enough in midfield. I would 100% bring Decore for Luton, and I think he will come back anyways. Eze, I'll be honest, Eze in the second half wasn't as good as he was in the first half. I think first half he got on the ball a bit more. Second half, Everton, I feel like they adjusted their tactics to slow the game down for him, and I think they've done relatively well. Edward, he had moments of the game where he was good, other moments where he was poor. But yeah, it wasn't. The thing is, he scored a goal, but it wasn't his greatest of games. Sometimes, like, it's frustrating to watch him be offside so often. And Mateta was actually going to come on. I don't know if he didn't go to the game, you might not have seen it, but Mateta was literally going to come on before Edward scored that goal, and then Roy delayed it further because I guess Edward scored the goals. You don't want to sub him off. But I think that pretty much sums it up. Like, Edward, he didn't have a horrific game. He didn't have, I wouldn't say 10 out of 10. He scored his goal, but Roy was thinking about changing him before he did score the goal, and I don't think that would have been the worst thing in the world if he was going to change him before the goal, because Mukhtar saying it's on Roy as well. And we've been far team. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. We should still be beating Everton. Sorry. That's what I'm gonna say. But I appreciate your comment anyways. But yeah. Boy saying Wara points deduction for us will never happen. If it does, City is going to the National League. I don't think so, really. It's two different situations, ain't it? And so I think it's obvious like that as well. Martin saying disappointing result today, but our 3 or 4 key players are not quite match sharp yet. A few more games down the line, and I think you'll see different players potentially. But that's the thing. We need to see the sharpness ASAP, because these are the games that we need to be picking up points if we want to push on, build some momentum as well. So, if they take 3 or 4 games to reach the levels, then after the 3 or 4 games, that means we got, Everton out the way, Luton out the way, Bournemouth, West Ham, and then we got Liverpool, City, Brighton, Chelsea. These are games that it's going to be hard regardless of match fitness or not and sharpness. So this international break is going to be key to bring them to the level they should be at. What's it called? Mike saying Roy played Jeffrey and Ward all the time is a death sentence. Hughes needs to come off sooner. So I do say it's a bit on Roy. Fair enough. Because I've seen a few people say that Hughes should have been subbed off a bit earlier. But look, about Joe Ward, I can't blame that on Roy. I think that's the club rather than Roy, because what's the alternative? Nathaniel Klein, they're both not good enough. Schlupp, I'll be honest, I wasn't even mad that Schlupp started the game, because Olise ain't fit enough to start, and then France, I don't think is ready to start as well. So I can't be mad about the Schlupp one. I think he subbed them off at the right time. But maybe Hughes, you do have a point there as well. We better see a different Palace. We have a suicidal stretch in December, and Alex, that's what that's what I talk about. These are the type of games we should be picking up points really at home. Leon saying lineups won't be that good today. Pretty annoying. We should be beating Everton really. Hopefully Luton we can win. It's not. We need to beat Luton. And I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game, but we need to beat Luton. If we don't beat Luton, then geez, what else can I say? If we don't beat Luton, I think it's pretty obvious. Like, we might as well forget about it and call it a day. Positives though, clean sheets for 58 seconds. Yeah, I had to watch the goal back because I literally missed a goal. It was 58 seconds is pathetic to concede that early as well. But yeah, that's how I see it. But look, people, I'm gonna wrap up early today. I'm not in the mood, as you can tell. It is what it is. We lost. International break is upon us. Thank you to everyone for subscribing. 4,000k. Really appreciate it all. Jeez, what's happening in focus? Like, subscribe if you're new here. We'll be back next week to talk more Palace stuff. But until then, up the Palace.